Oh, happy Father's Day to everybody out there who is a father. So many clients are. It'd be hard to single you out. But happy Father's Day to all of you as a father and a son. I know how important it is to recognize people, whether it be Mother's Day, Father's Day, or any day, to recognize people and their efforts. And it's a tall order. It's a big job to be a dad, and it's I don't know if it's worthy of a day. We're kind of humble people, right? But at the same time, it's nice to have a day off where everybody says, "Hey, happy Father's Day." So I wasn't supposed to have a day off. I was supposed to be heading to Georgian Downs right now. It's 3:45. I'm exhausted. I was a little tired. I woke up. I slept in today. I went to the barn. I went grocery shopping as Amy had to go pick up the kids because they were down at... Ollie just ran into my car with his bike. They were down at their grandparents' place in Collingwood. So they had the weekend down there to relax, and Amy and I had Adeline here, and obviously trying to chill out. It has been an extremely hectic week, just an insane week between training, qualifying, entering, having horses to the vet. It never ends. I mean, we have a lot of horses going in the right direction, but we do have some going in the wrong direction. We talked about last week taking Frontier Cruise, Sunshine and Shade, and Brush Cut to the vet. Think we got a handle on those three horses. We should be able to train them towards the end of this week and see how they are. They appear to be picking up real good on their feed and feeling sharp again, so maybe there was a little virus. Anytime you have three horses separated by shed rows, now in fairness, I guess Brush Cut and Frontier Cruise are in the same shed row, different areas in that shed row, and then you have Sunshine and Cruise way up in the other side of the farm. It's hard to believe that three horses and only three horses succumbed to or got run down from a virus, where other horses along the way did not. But unfortunately, that's how things are. Those three horses appeared to have something going on. Frontier Cruise in particular, when we took his blood was a little messed up. The other two horses, not so much. But when we had the horse to the vet, Dr. McKee believed that, we could fix these horses up and get them back moving forward in short order. Dr. Grosenbacher had already looked at Sunshine and Shade, and both him and Dr. McKee actually came to the same conclusion, so on Sunshine and Shade in particular. So we're working to get these horses back on track. Then other horses seem to fall onto that list too. One in particular, Capistrano. My God almighty. She was a killer last year, and she was never really, really sound. She's infinitely sounder this year, but really struggling with racing. Her first start, she drew the outside. Okay, take her to the back. She wasn't great. 56, 28 on the end of it or something. She was okay. Next start, another 8-hole. We changed her shoes because we thought she was interfering a little bit, and we changed them maybe a little close to the race. She looked absolutely abysmal at Georgian Downs. So when we looked at exactly what took place, the fact that she was on a line, running in, getting out of gear, okay, it's the shoes. So what we did was we simply went and took the aluminum shoes back off her, put a steel shoe on her, did some vet work on her feet. She was a little bit better mechanically, but in the race, really faltered in Hanover. Now, some red flags go up here. This is a filly that bled last year in the middle of the winter. We had to give a month off to. I would suspect Georgian Tuesday, back Saturday. Hanover was probably hot as the hubs of hell on Saturday afternoon. She might have bled a little bit. I would love to know, but no vet had a scope in Hanover, and no vet's working on Sunday. We're going to have to wait till Monday to investigate the throat of Capistrano. I suspect going to see some flecks of red stuff in there. Where do we go from here with her? That's a great question, because many of the grassroots are raced on the B tracks this year. And even the series she was in the other day that we were looking to use as a springboard back into the grassroots competition, the Prospect Series, all these are raced on B tracks. And with the pandemic being in place, there's no Lasix on the B tracks right now. So A little bit of a conundrum. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Capistrano was a little bit sick. Maybe she had the same virus the 3 Colts did. She is in the next shed row to Kevin, so that's potential. But we have to get to the bottom of it. That will take some investigating. We will draw her blood and do a full blood workup on her on Monday. We may even scope her to see what her throat looks like on Monday. I probably won't see the remnants of all the, if there was bleeding, there'd be a lot less on Monday, but you would still see some blood in there, probably some inflammation, some redness, maybe some pimples. This is also a filly that struggled with allergies last year, and it is almost July. So a lot going on, a lot of questions to answer with Capistrano, but let's start with the good news. She's not lame. There's no issues. I know she's running in. She did that last year. We can change her equipment up. I think the fact that the vet couldn't find anything on the right side is good. The fact that the vet didn't find anything on the right side is bad. It's good in the fact that it's not super serious. It's bad in the fact that it is bothering her and we have not fully diagnosed it. So she will be going back to the veterinarian with a lot of questions to answer this week. So that was them. We got all our 2-year-olds qualified. I wrote down 10 or 12 2-year-olds that I thought were rather impressive on the weekend. You know, considering we qualified 47 and the better part of a quarter of them, I would think, appeared like they were going to be stake material, gold stake material, possibly. Some definitely look like they are. There's no denying that. As if you had a horse like Walk on the Moon, no free lunch. Lincoln Hanover's New York, so it's hard to say. That's My Girl, Indiana, again, hard to say. I'm a Lovely Lady, look fantastic. Beef and Cheddar. Green should have finished off as miles stronger, but still 56 last quarter and 28 is nothing to sneeze at. Fox Valley Britska, again, Indiana, I don't know, but 59, 28 in the end of it. Pretty good mile out of him. Roy Hill was a little, I was down on a little bit on Roy Hill after. He didn't finish up his mile as strong, but if you notice the most horses that went the big miles the other day, there were horses that were coming in off of a previous qualifier. Now, Roy Hill did have a qualifier, but he jumped over Shadow and didn't really get to go much of a mile. So there wasn't that strenuous workout. Then he come back this week. I got away in a good spot with him. He followed good. He felt like he was going to attack down the lane. Did he falter a bit? Yes, but then go ahead and look at the race mile. 58 and 2, 27 and 2 on the end of it. A last half and 55 and 2. I just don't know if he could have possibly done more. I don't know if he could do more than that. You know, we have Tipsy and Dixie War We Welcome, and I guess it's probably worth mentioning First Glance. Apparently, I didn't mention him the other day and got attacked by our own clients. Why didn't you mention First Glance? Last half 55 and 2 or 55 and 1. Why didn't you mention First Glance? Okay, I apologize. We qualified 6.2 million horses this week, it felt like. Between training, racing, and qualifying, yes, I didn't go with First Glance, so he wasn't a standout in my mind. Going back and looking at the video, talking to Mario, it was a hell of a mile out of that horse. 57 and 3 last quarter and I think 27 and a piece. Last half 55 and 2. That's a good mile from First Glance. Now back to Roy Hill. Here's Roy Hill and Well and Down heading to the next generation in 13 days. Well and Down made a break the other day. Roy Hill, 58. They're going to go 53, 54 in Scioto. But at the same time, he did have that last half in 55. Did have the last quarter in 27. Well and Down made a break. But in the midst of making that break, paced the last quarter in 27 and 3. Last half in 56. We made some shoeing adjustments on Well and Down, a little tiny bit of equipment adjustments on Well and Down. So the speed is there. Getting her to use it in a consistent manner is going to be the trick, and it always has been the trick with her. So those are the two things we have to button down on this week. Well and Down, probably going to come over to the track with us tomorrow. See how she feels with the aluminum shoes on. And go from there with her. You likely won't see her in the qualify. If I'm not mistaken, she is qualified for the next generation, a flat line in 30 days, no 2 breaks in a row. I think that we'll just bring Well and Down over if I can. Sneak her over this week to Mohawk, train her in 55 or 56, and call it a day and head to Ohio. That's our plan with her. Maybe have Roy Hill and her train together maybe next Thursday. That would be nice. So, we got Roy Hill and Well and Down heading to Ohio. We raced our first horse last night in GW Chrome. Kind of sucked. I thought he trot 58, 59. He didn't suck, just the way the race shutout did. I got away last. I was happy he allowed me to take him off the gate because I'm not going to take him off the gate in Northfield his first start. He allowed me to back him up, take him off the gate. They get over the half super slow. 102. I'm at the half in what, 4? I went a mile in 2, 1, and 3. Last half, 57 and 4. Last quarter in 29 seconds. I was 3 wide, 3 and a bit wide the whole way around the last turn. Can't really ask a young horse to do much more than that. Those are aged horses. Multiple horses in there had multiple starts. Can't really blame GW Chrome for that. I thought it was a hell of a mile. As I said, mathematically, would I like to see him flying on the end of it, 27 and a piece? Yeah. It was a hot night. We took him off the trailer, and he was a little washed out, Big George. So, a nice mile. I was happy with the way he did it. Now, what is pissing me off a little bit is our draws. GW Chrome, 8-hole, 2 first start for a 2-year-old. My Jazz, first start for a 2-year-old, 8-hole in Northfield. Italian Grit, first start for a 2-year-old. Grand River, 8-hole, half-mile track. This is a little frustrating for me. We've entered 4 horses into race. 3 of them have drawn the outside. It's upsetting. So you're going to see a lot of the same. GW Chrome, haul him to the back. My Jazz, probably going to haul her to the back. Mama Knows Best, I'm not sure what she leaves. Don't bother telling me. I can find out in a minute. But Mama Knows Best, hopefully, will be forwardly placed for her race on Tuesday. We did have lots of horses that raced well this week, I thought. I mean, you had, what about Ailson's Mile? We were all saying, maybe we should spend that money down in the Buckeye and beat them up a little bit. 55 and 3 over Northfield. They went in 56 and 3 in the other division. Somebody sent me a message. I said, listen, there's no cakewalks in racing right now anywhere. Ailson raced huge, finished second, 156 and 3. Great mile out of that filly on a half-mile track. The hobbles, the equipment change, the shoeing change, all that I think precipitated and will continue to compound into a decent filly. Grassroots are no joke. Buckeye is, they're all business. So Ailson, good for her. The same night you saw Susie K race. Susie K is a 2-minute trotter. Had to come second over in a mile of 56. It was a hell of a mile for that filly. 57 and 3, Susie K trotted over Northfield. Great mile for her. Brave World, second in 52 and 4 the other day. One more start for Brave World in Georgia, and I suspect he'll be heading to Mohawk. He looked great the other day, and he's back in to go. Brett McDonald made a point to come up to me and say, geez, what a nice horse to drive. Just a really, really nice horse. So Brett did a great job with him, and he's back on him Tuesday. Beach Boutique. I didn't have my best week of driving last week. Just one of those weeks. I don't know, he's tired or what it was. I put Trafalgar in a bad spot. She didn't end up that well. Ended up 5th, but there was chaos down the lane. Everybody was trying to get around me and around other horses, and we ended up 5th. But a bit of a chaotic finish for that race. Beach Boutique, I got away at the back. She come flying on the end of it. 27 and a piece on the end of it. She raced great. She's back in to go this week. Globetrotting obviously won her stake race. She's going to be back in to go next Saturday. Compass Rose, DC, spend that money. All these fillies race great their first start. They're going to be back in to go next Saturday at Northfield Park. Hometown Boys, 2-1. Hometown Boys has never done anything ahead by 5 lengths in his life. Controlled the race, went his own mile, and finished up strong. Good for him. Travis said he was real, real good. So, Hometown Boys, very, very good on, what night was that? Friday night. Good for him. Johan, another error I made this week. I saw that the martingale was broke right before they said go with Johan's race, and I could have signaled a recall. But in that instant, I thought to myself, he's behaving himself. He's not getting hot. He's not throwing his head. And if I signal a recall and we have to pull up, is he going to come unglued? Is he going to turn into a lunatic? I said, he's not throwing his head. He'll be fine. 2 steps out of the gate, threw his head, and made a break. That's on me and Johan. So we have a more secure, stronger martingale, and we've put another strap in place so that if that does happen again, there'll be a fail-safe there. But went an incredible mile afterwards. Tried his last quarter in 27 and 1. A great mile for Johan. Miss Brampton Beast broke her maiden last week. She looked awesome. 54 flat and passed horses down the lane. Jason Ryan did a great job. Man, oh man. Jason Ryan and Travis Henry are doing a great job for us in the B tracks. Both of them are on top of their game, and that horse, Miss Brampton Beast, Kevin had her good the other night. It's never been her forte to have that killer instinct. When they opened up and she went to shoot through, I'm thinking 4th. She's going to be 4th, beat a neck. He said she saw daylight and shot right through for the victory. That is very un-Brampton Beast-like. Very impressed with her maturity as a horse And the way Kevin has her ready to go, she looked awesome this week. Jason Ryan did a great job driving her. Time Al Houdini, another great job by Kevin. This horse stood in his stall for 6 months with a fractured coffin bone, left hind, I believe, last year. First start back, trotted 55-4, I believe. Just a fantastic job on this horse. You know, to bring a horse back from an injury like that, it takes patience and it takes good horsemanship. And clearly Kevin had both those on display with Time Al Houdini. West 52nd, just a great job by Jason's barn. Obviously, Jason is in Ohio. Cindy Acton is his second trainer there at the farm. And West 52nd, without the hobbles on. Like, this is what we're telling you. It takes time. West 52nd's an aged horse now. And he's finally starting to get his act together. 53-3, 27-1 on the end of it the other night. And somebody had sent me an email and said, why don't we find an easier class at Georgian? Normally I'd agree with you, but the transformation this horse is going through, I think we need to allow him to fill out and gather that speed and put that muscle on that he's putting on right now. Jonathan Drury has done a great job with him. And Jason's crew has done a great job with the horse also. He looked great. You know, all our barns are showing up right now. Kevin, Harry's, Jason's crew, and Mario. I mean, when you look, you know, people can say what they want. Some people complaining last year. You know, Mario has won a bunch of races as a driver, but what's he done as a trainer? He's not his brother. Mario's a good horseman. The Bergeron name in horse racing, Canadian horse racing, is synonymous, and it's been going on for a long time. 2, 3, 4 generations, I don't know, since dirt. But Walk on the Moon, Lincoln Hanover, War We Welcome. Just a great job by Mary with these horses this week, and they looked absolutely awesome. So couldn't be happier with everybody. All the barns are firing pretty good right now. I know they could always be doing a little better, but it's a big barn. We could always be doing a little better. Capistrano's situation makes me ill, but at the same time, she's not crippled, she's not lame, and there's nothing really going on that we shouldn't be able to combat and fix. Unless this is an allergy situation, which if it is, we can still back off and keep moving her forward after that. But if it's not, if it is just bleeding, or if she is just sick, anything that is going on with Capistrano right now, we should be able to fix. So we are now focused on her. We had a lot of answers last week with Frontier Cruise, Sunshine and Shade, and Brush Cut. We've worked on those. At the end of the week, we'll see if there's fruits. Fruits will be born from our labor, so to speak. But those horses look like they're coming forward. Now we have to focus on Capistrano, getting our horses into the States and getting them raced. Just so much going on with everything right now. So many horses racing. I think we had 44 horses racing this week. 47 qualified. And I apologize again, for the love of God. First glance. I missed first glance. And some of the biggest news actually coming from a horse that just returned. Spirit of Dio. I trained Spirit of Dio on Saturday. She felt like $1 million. I was going to take her over and train her a bit Monday. Qualifier Thursday or the following Monday. She felt so good, I'm just going to put her into qualify on Tuesday. We shot her the way she was shod last week. We put the equipment back on the way we had it last year. Sorry, shod like last year. Everything last year. And she felt like the filly she was last year, only bigger. You know, John felt bad. He sent me a message. Geez, I feel like I let you guys down. He didn't let us down. The filly looks like $1 million. She's a finicky filly. She's a little bit of a, you know, a tricky filly to 1, train and 2, drive. You know, it took us a long time to get her right. We trained her for the entire time from when we bought her right down to a 2-year-old. She was still making breaks, lots of breaks, all winter, all spring, into the summer. Really, right up until New Jersey. We were on pins and needles the night she raced in New Jersey, the first night. I was, because it was the first week back after my arm being broke. And 2, she'd made so many breaks. What would she be like? Well, she answered a lot of questions that night. She answered a lot of questions throughout the year. Still made the odd hiccup. But, man, oh, man, she felt great on Saturday. She'll be in to qualify. Tuesday, also qualifying on Tuesday, will be really blue chip. We're going to put the hobbles back on her, as I explained to our clients the other night. We put them on her last year for the same reason. She struggled in that last straightaway. Does that have to do with stamina, strength? It could have to do with a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we have to do what we have to do to help her out. And we will do that right now. Just reminding myself of something. So So Spirit of Dio really blue chip will qualify Tuesday. Another I wouldn't say uncharacteristic. Another unfortunate break from Muscle Chrome in Hanover. We're putting her in a tight track. I wish we had a better place to race this filly right now, but we will race her this coming week. We'll qualify her on Thursday, and I'll go with her. Harry and I'll get to the bottom of what's going on with the big Chrome filly. I'm sure it's, again, nothing that can't be fixed. So that is a lot to talk about. I was going to give you the standouts for this week, as I said, my top 10 list, but I'll give you a few standouts. Walk on the Moon, No Free Lunch, Lincoln Hanover, That's My Girl, I'm a Lovely Lady, Beef and Cheddar, Fox Valley Britska, Roy Hill, Tipsy and Dixie, War We Welcome, First Glance. There's 11 or 12 right there that were fantastic. We had 47 horses qualified, and 11 or 12 of them look like they're headed to or close to the gold situation. So pretty happy with what we've done so far. Pretty excited about what's coming up. We do have some horses on the shelf. We do have some horses to fix, but that's racing. So we'll be back in a minute. I am going to talk about all the 2-year-olds, all the 3-year-olds, all the stables, and I'm going to give you my top 10 list for this week. After all the qualifiers, my top 10 list for this week. Be back in just a second.